It's a groovy time for a movie time. So grab your gap and grab a seat. But don't forget to get something to eat. Delicious meat and nutritious meat.
You can't beat my meat for a special treat. Sucking on me is really neat.
Don't be a jerk and don't be a fool. Be a good neighbor and follow these rules. What are these rules? Remember to keep your shoes on at all times. Don't pull your penis out unless you really need to. Indecent exposure is a class 2 felony.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta, where we make films, but don't call us Yollywood.
It's the 9 billion names of pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm watching so many films, I've lost all feeling in my buttocks.
So let's talk about some stuff.
All right, if you insist.
Yep. Yeah. Before we get to some other stuff, we would be remiss if we did not bid a fond bon voyage to Kenny Baker.
Oh,
Not to bum you out at the top of the episode, but the man inside the R2-D2 suit, costume, prop, what have you, passed away recently, and that really sucks. That really sucks.
In the now, correct me. Was he in the R2 for the prequels? Was he?
I believe, like, in small doses.
Because I think by the time the prequels rolled around, technology had caught up to where there did not need to be somebody inside of the unit.
Right. I know he was listed in the later films as consultant.
Okay.
And he may have done a scene or two, but I'm not really 100% sure.
Okay.
He was not in Force Awakens. I know that.
Okay.
He was not in the suit.
Well, hey, just for his work in the first 3 that were, the first 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
however
the first 3. We know what you mean.
The original trilogy.
Yes.
Respect, because when R2 did that little shaky thing and the fall down, that's Kenny doing that.
Yeah.
They didn't really have quite the technology they have today. And maybe that's why all of a sudden he developed the ability to frickin' fly in the prequels, because now the technology's caught up. And oh, George, you just keep hurting me.
But and also he was also in another very famous geek-centric film as well. And you have to think about this one.
Oh, well, it was a Time Bandits, wasn't it?
Bandits,
Yeah, of
yes.
course.
He was Fidget in Time Bandits.
Of course. We love our Time Bandits.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole episode on that movie because it's a classic Terry Gilliam film. But he played one of the little people, one of the Time Bandits, if you will.
Dan, don't listen to this podcast. It's pure evil.
It's pure evil.
Cranks up the volume.
Kablam.
Oh, Dan.
One of the strangest endings of anything ever.
But it so makes sense. I saw that when I was a kid. I'm like, yep, that's about it. Don't listen to the kid. They don't have any knowledge.
Yep.
Nope, just go ahead. And I like how the parents go, huh? And they just both reach in like fuck you, kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Okay. I would like to see, as much as I'm not a fan of, sequels. There's something that could be done with that kid as an adult in that world, having grown up without parents and see what else. I mean, there's some more fun that could be having. But first, Terry needs to make his Don Quixote film.
He keeps saying it. He recently released a cast list. I forget who it was that's playing.
No, he shouldn't do that, because then they're marked for death by God. Seriously.
Right.
Injury,
Nature will
death.
smote them.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, just, okay.
And,
but yes, R.I.P. Kenny Baker. It's been good, and thank you.
Yeah, he was at Dragon Con a bunch of years.
Am I correct? Is he is the first... He's the first of the main Star Wars cast that has passed away.
I believe that is.
I can't think of anybody else that I'm sure there's certain, Porkins is probably long gone, but I mean,
like Biggs is gone, and some of the X-wing pilots are gone, but
well, they got blowed up on the Death Star.
They did, yeah.
But we haven't lost. God, I'm just, no, like, who's going to be next? Don't. No, they're going to live forever.
Right.
At least I want to outlive them.
Yes, yeah.
Unfortunately, that means I probably will. Okay. Anyway.
And also, before we get to this, I want to put an addendum to other podcasts that we've done. I watched the 3-hour version of Batman v Superman.
So you did it.
I did it. And I will say, maybe it's not that Zack Snyder can't tell a story. Maybe he just can't do it in 2 hours. Because I got to tell you, it's a better film. It's just, it breathes and it moves along. It's really fucking long. But
I thought he did a decent job in Watchmen.
Yes.
Again, another close to 3 hour.
Yeah,
at least
but
3 hours.
The director's cut is close to 4.
Well, yeah, when you put in the cartoon.
See, that's what I'm saying. No. Without that, there's the actual director's cut.
Well, yeah, if you give someone 17 hours, they could tell the greatest story. I mean, there is an art and there is a skill in being able to deliver a well-constructed story within reasonable time constraints.
Absolutely.
And he, based on what you said, he can't do that.
He can't do it in 2.
He doesn't know how to sculpt and arc a story where your ass isn't numb by hour 3 and you're like, fuck, there's still another hour to go.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was a better film. It made more sense. It explained shit. It didn't feel like there was big chunks missing out of it, and I enjoyed it. So I will say I enjoyed it.
All right, well I will indulge in it at some point.
Yeah.
And did you get this on DVD or?
Yeah, I got it on Blu-ray.
You got that on the Blu-ray.
I bought the Blu-ray, and it had the DVD and the digital and the whole nonsense because you can't just buy a Blu-ray ever.
Apparently not. Well, they just don't want to manufacture separate packaging and stuff. They're just making you pay for all of it.
I guess.
And then use what you want. We're transitioning into Blu-ray only. I mean, it's going to be a little while
DVD
longer, but
it'll go the way of VHS eventually.
I haven't gone back and repurchased maybe about 40 titles on Blu-ray for my library that are just masterpieces that I had to have on Blu-ray. But other than that, I'm not going back to change my collection over.
No.
I got a Blu-ray player. From that point forward, I bought new stuff only on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and there's not that much that I'm buying on disc anyway anymore. I'll wait. Most of the time, I'll wait and watch it on streaming or Redbox or something.
I'm still old school like that.
Well, there's just some stuff I just want to see and don't need to own.
Oh, right. You just want to watch it.
Yeah, I just want to watch it.
That's what Netflix is for.
Exactly.
Streaming or just the discs coming in the middle.
Right.
But for me, when there's I'm a massive fan of Harvey and Harold and Maude.
Oh yeah,
and Ferris Bueller's. I know I'm going to watch those a couple times a year until I die.
Yeah.
So I have those on hand. But The Hangover 2, I didn't even want to see it the first time.
Exactly.
And owning it really doesn't help me out at all.
Yeah.
So, anyway, speaking of movies, we're going to chat a little bit about some upcoming films that are dropping. Some splatting, some landing gracefully and with deft and skill from now until the end of the year.
End of the year, yeah.
Believe it or not, there are more films out there than just Rogue One.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to scratch our heads to think of any, but I'm sure there are some out there.
Yeah, there are a few. I think the two big ones are going to be Doctor Strange, which we'll get to, and the Harry Potter adjacent, yeah, because in a way it's technically a prequel. I mean, it's in that world. It has nothing to do, I don't believe, with Harry Potter or his family or anything, because it's many years before I think even James and Lily were born. So, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Starring Eddie Redmayne.
Oscar winner Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah. He kind of popped out of nowhere, at least for me.
Yeah.
With the 1-2 punch of Theory of Everything, where he got the Oscar, and then the Danish Girl, but one of the first, if not the first, males to go through sex reassignment surgery.
Yes.
With Alicia Vikander.
Who's in everything now.
She is a being of perfect light and beauty, and she's a darn good actress as well. She was in the, what the hell is it called? Not AI.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Yep.
There you go. She was the.
But then, after that, she was in everything. She was in what's the one with it was a remake of the TV show. I want to say I Spy. That's not it. What the hell was it called? Oh, damn it.
The Man.
Yes, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is what it was.
Okay.
And it was...
Why?
I don't know.
Listen, I understand the occasional reboot and sequel and reimagining, but God, there's so many untold stories.
Yes.
Just adapt a great book that hasn't been adapted before. Just don't keep remaking the same shit over and over. It's diminishing returns.
People aren't going to buy it. Well, people don't go to things they don't know or already know.
I know. That's why we have, Blibbity Blabbity Blue, the musical on Broadway.
Well, that's a whole other thing, but yeah,
wants,
Broadway's even worse.
They want the same thing regurgitated,
Yeah.
chewed up, and basically barfed into their mouth like they were baby birds from Hollywood, Broadway, and all this other stuff. And it's like...
And you can revivals are a Broadway tradition, but...
Right, that's
when nothing new is being produced is when
very little. There, obviously Hamilton, it's new and it's people responded to it. So look, it's new. It's very new. It's like it's a rap musical.
Well, I think that's why Hamilton blew up so big was not only one, it is brilliant. I mean, I have the soundtrack. It is absolutely brilliant.
What? You haven't seen it 5 or 6 times by now?
No, I'm not a millionaire.
Oh, okay.
But I think because there is such little new material being produced that when something that is completely brand new and happens to be brilliant shows up, people lose their minds over because, oh my God, this is something
they're
new.
Hungry for something that they haven't seen a million times before. And no matter what your opinion is of Hamilton, no one's seen anything like that
Not
before.
at all.
It's a brand new thing. Just like, when Star Wars came out, that was a brand new thing.
Yeah.
We had not. I mean, obviously there had been sci-fi, but not like that.
No.
But then again, those of us who were fans of Akira Kurosawa. But then again, I'm not saying I was a fan of Akira Kurosawa at 7 years of age. But it's like watching reruns of SNL when you're older and go, oh, that's what those jokes meant.
Yes.
Because that was Jaws. Oh, they were making fun of the Godfather. Oh, I understand it now.
Yeah.
Watching, the Kurosawa films in my mid to late teens, early 20s, went, wow, that's kind of Seven Samurai with a twist, or that's,
Yeah, or when you discover The Planets by Holst and you go, wow, John Williams ripped him off for the themes. Wow. And that's kind of what George wanted. He said, yeah, I want something like this. So he just kind of went, okay.
All right, I'll take care of it.
Plucked liberally from
By the way, I don't know if you've seen the announcement, but he's officially on for 8.
Yes, he is.
So
yes, he is.
Just, John, we know you're up there. You seem to be in good health. Just get us through this.
Take it easy.
This trilogy.
Yeah.
Good for you not doing the standalones. I would actually say that would be a bad choice. Let the standalones be a completely different kind of film.
Yeah, they have to be their own
I don't want to see a crawl. I don't want to even think about the fanfare. I want the standalones to be as standy-alone as possible.
Absolutely.
But the episodes, keep them with the crawl. Keep them with the John Williams, at least for this next,
hopefully,
finishing this trilogy.
And I'm sure he is, but hopefully he is grooming to take over. Like,
could you imagine? That's like, hey, the Beatles are reforming, and we need 2 people. Why don't you play with us?
Yeah.
You're like, what? How?
You want me to do what now?
Yeah, exactly. I keep saying, it's like, gosh, man, if I had picked up, any kind of a wind instrument or maybe even guitar, and when I was 12 and practiced forever, I could be on the touring band with Steely Dan.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
Yep.
Well, maybe not too awesome because apparently Donald Fagen's a bit of a grouchy puss. But still, playing with some crap. Anyway, back to we diverge all over the place. Harry Potter, Beasts, blah, blah, blah. Colin Farrell and Catherine Waterston. She has really stepped up.
I don't know her, do I?
She is the daughter of Sam Waterston from Law and Order. Insert dun-dun here.
Yep.
I first discovered her in a movie called The Babysitter, where she basically was a teenage girl running prostitutes in high school.
Interesting.
And it sounds like one of those dumb teen sexploitation films. It's not. It's more of a gripping drama with
I would assume
just enough, obviously over 18 nudity, but meant to portray high school nudity. We're like,
like that uncomfortable kind of nudity.
Yeah, it's just
this isn't.
Okay, whatever. And then she kind of went away as far as top-notch films, but she's in this one, and she has a lead in the sequel to Prometheus.
Does she?
Yep.
Interesting.
Alien Covenant, or whatever the hell they're going to
they're calling it this week.
Paradise and this and that and Alien 3 Electric Boogaloo. And I don't know, whatever. But
right. Well, this movie is based on one of the books. There was a book, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and also it's one of those meta books because it's one of those books that like Hermione carries around in the Harry Potter books. It's like a textbook. There was two of those.
Books within books.
Books within books within books. There was Fantastic Beasts, and there was also a book called Tales of Beetle the Bard, which figured prominently in the last book. It was like in the last Harry Potter book, The Deathly Hallows, because it tells the story of the Deathly Hallows and the three brothers and all that nonsense. But they actually wrote that book, so you can buy it and read the little short stories. They're only little, 50-page books with little short
like
stories.
Sir Gawain and the Green Knight that Tolkien did.
Exactly.
Or,
they're that world's, little legends, and that are true or not true.
But apparently after this and then the whatever that play,
The Cursed Child, which we also just bought. I haven't cracked it open yet.
Now you do know that it's a script.
Yes.
Everyone apparently is wetting their pants because it's like, this isn't a book. What is this? I can't even read this. Like, it's a script. It's a different kind of read.
Yes.
You have to you have
to read it like a script.
You have to read it like a script. Now, and let's face it, most people don't know how to read.
That's true.
Script.
We as theater people, we know how to do that. But it took a long time for me to understand that. I remember reading the first script and reading it and going, "This is terrible. This is terrible. Why are we doing this?" And then when the talented people read it, I was like, "Oh, now I get it."
Yeah, exactly.
The actors and the funny people.
But from what J.K. Rowling has said is that the Cursed Child, that's it. Harry Potter is done. Now, something tells me that may hold true for a while.
She's also said that she's going to release digitally some short stories, like epilogue stories of or prequel stuff on
what's the Basilisk doing now?
Or, why is Dolores Umbridge so mean, and what happened to so and so? It's like she's going to go. So here's the thing. I don't understand. It's just write them. Write books about Harry. Write stuff in the world.
You've created a universe.
Stop saying I'm not going to do this anymore and just do it. People love it. Give them what they want.
Don't be Cher. This is my farewell tour, and it went for 3 years, and then I toured again a year afterwards. Yeah. It's like just
write it.
Do your stuff.
Write Harry Potter stuff.
But at the same time, I like to think that she might have something else to say about something completely different,
which is fine too.
Yeah,
but you don't have to keep saying, this is it. No, we're not going to do it anymore, because you never know that's going to be the case.
Hey, I never try to dictate to a creative writer type.
No,
how do you exercise your talents? It's like, if you feel the need for it, maybe she feels she has said all she wants to say. She may change her mind in it. You're like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Because certain characters stay with you, and all of a sudden you're like, there's more to be said here. So you never know. And plus, this film here is her first movie script ever.
So she wrote the actual script.
She wrote the actual script, which she did not do for any of the films.
No,
she obviously consulted heavily.
Right. It was a guy named Steve Kloves, and he wrote all the screenplays for all of the Potter movies.
Yeah.
And he told a great story that, because he was writing as he was writing the scripts for 5 for the Order of the Phoenix, he was, you have to trim down to adapt the book, to adapt the novel, and he was going to leave out one of the house elves. He was going to leave out a creature, Sirius Black's house elf, and she kind of was. He said she kind of leaned over and was like, "Yeah, you might want to leave him in the movie." He's like, "Why?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, but you might want to." So there, she knew what was coming. In the books,
which is
why she had to consult on the things.
Of course, and that's the same thing that Martin is doing on Game of Thrones.
Right.
He's already told them how he's going to end the series, because the series is going to be done before he's
going to
finished.
lap the books. Yeah,
it's already lapped the books.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. So, and at the rate he's writing,
Yeah.
I grumble, but then again, I haven't started the series because I'm waiting for the TV show to be done, and view that as a very elaborate Cliff Notes, and then go back and dive into that world, and because there's so much that had to be cut out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to watch it and then go in and read the whole thing.
Because the world that I create in my head, the visual never matches up, very rarely. And you miss stuff. You're like, oh, they cut that, and they cut that, and if you watch it without having read it, you can just enjoy it as that form of entertainment, and then just look at the book as the quote unquote director's version that you do in your head.
Right, and
that's how I do it.
Mainly, you just end up getting more detail anyway. You
Exactly.
get more of what you want anyway.
It's like, oh, that's why she did that.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense, or that gives more. Enlightens you more about a certain character's motivation or whatever. So anyway,
yep.
So Beasts in the thing, and that opens November 6th. November 18th.
November 18th.
So that's one of the big ones that I'm sure people are looking forward to.
Yes, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. The Potterheads are, they let's put it this way: your franchise, it's successful when they build a frickin' theme park out of it. Yeah, the actual West End run of The Cursed Child of that show. It's probably sold out. Oh, it's sold out, I think, 2 years in a day. That makes sense. Totally. And is Harry Potter being played by a black female? There was some controversy. Hermione is. Yeah, Hermione is, and their daughter is also is being played by a black girl. And I was like, good. And Rowling was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. You can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can. Just did it. Yeah. Look at this. It's approved by J.K. She said okay, so whatever she says goes, because guess what? She created the world. Yeah. So... Same thing with Stephen King in The Dark Tower. He was like, oh, yeah, Idris Elba was a great choice for the gunslinger. Yeah. Well, he's a great choice for just about anything. Well, exactly. He could play anybody. You know, he could play everybody in the movie, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, not so much when he's not given too much within a Star Trek film, but that's another story. Yeah, that's okay. We already talked about that. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to another film. Okay. One of the ones that appeals to me a little bit, and I've only read the synopsis. Yeah. You know me and my little slice of life drama kind of Merchant Ivory vibe that I love. It's an adaptation of the book The Light Between Oceans. Okay. I didn't know that was an adaptation. It is an adaptation. And, of course, it has Alicia Vikander. I told you, she's in everything. She's in everything. She has taken over for Zoe Saldana, who was in everything, and now... And she needs some help with the everything, so they're trading off the everything. Yeah. And, of course, Michael Fassbender, who's also in everything. Who's also in everything, and let's face it, is a damn good actor. Yeah. Rachel Weisz has kind of come and gone from her heyday, but she's hanging out and appears in a few things. Yeah, she pops up every now and again in good stuff. Yeah. But the movie's about a couple that live in a lighthouse in, I believe it's Australia, just after World War I. And they find a baby on the shore in a rowboat. And they raise it and as their child. And then they take a trip, I guess, to the mainland or to a big city, and things happen. So, but I don't think nothing mystical or, fantastical or anything like that.
But I kind of think appeals to me. Just like, I like the little slice of life things where
I do too. Yeah.
You learn a little bit about yourself. That kind of thing. So definitely not a nerd film, but it's something, that's the kind of stuff I enjoy.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down for that kind of stuff.
Now, are you down for current event films?
Yeah, there seems to be a
There's
big
a few,
pile of those coming.
There's a few coming. The two big ones are Deepwater Horizon and Snowden.
Yes.
And Sully.
That's, yeah.
Deepwater Horizon, the cast is middling. Mark Wahlberg,
he is
competent, but
he's like super hit or miss. Like he could be pretty good or just fucking awful.
He's not able to transcend the material.
Right.
So if he gets bad material, he just can't.
He can't elevate it.
He can't go, to a certain degree, no actor can go completely above the material, but some you're like, all right, you took this basically this pile of shit and you actually put some sprinkles on top. Yeah. Thank you. Also has in it Kurt Russell and Kate Hudson,
Well, Kurt Russell, though. Kurt Russell is still the coolest guy in the universe in everything. He elevates.
I'm waiting for him to feel kind of invincible again.
Oh, so am I.
That would be.
That would be so amazing.
I would watch that a million times. And Kate Hudson's always competent.
Yeah,
but I think of her more as just a horrible rom-com actress, much like Jennifer Aniston. Although she did Good Girl and a couple other films where she wasn't doing rom-com, and she actually did okay.
Well, Kate
like
Hudson,
Office Space, she wasn't doing rom-com. She was just acting.
Yeah,
and I liked it. I'm over rom-com. It has to be so epically good with such a good twist for me to even think about seeing a rom-com. I'm done with them.
Yeah,
especially if Jennifer Aniston is in it or Kate Hudson.
Yeah, Kate Hudson broke out in Almost Famous, and she was pretty fantastic.
She was very good in that.
But then she did fall into that rut.
Yeah, there you go. The paycheck, the Ben Affleck syndrome.
Yeah,
it's like I'm in demand now. Great, I'll do that, and that. That's all of them. Yeah. Imagine how much money I'll make. Like,
right.
Okay, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Now, one I'm very interested in is in Snowden.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Because with Deepwater Horizon and with Snowden, there are still questions out there and determinations to be made about where fault lies. Is the Deepwater Horizon film going to be a story that says, oh no, Halliburton is wonderful and Obama did something wrong? Or is it going to be a political film, or are they going to tell it as exactly as it happened with the facts on the ground? See, that's the thing.
Unfortunately, I think what it's going to do, it's going to turn it into just a movie about this guy and his family.
And leave
all those details behind.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to, they've taken the name, and at least that's what I get from the trailer.
Right.
They've taken the name and the event, and they're just going to make it about this guy. And I don't even know if it's a real guy or not.
Don't know.
It says, it said based on true events, but they have to.
Yeah.
But it didn't say, the true story of...
Hey, Airplane the movie was based on true events. Like, yeah, I'm sure a captain got sick once on a plane.
And planes crash.
Exactly.
All the time.
So there we go, based on true events.
So I don't think it's going to go either way. I don't think it's going to be, the slamming of it. I don't think it's going to be a pro.
It's not going to be muckraking journalism done as a script.
And it's not going to be a tree hugger, you're destroying the earth, man, kind of thing. It's going to be about this guy who's going to try to get back to his family
after...
which is fine. It's a good, it's your basic story.
It really sucks when your job get blowed up.
Well, yeah.
That's really a bad thing. Now, Snowden, on the other hand, and it's Oliver Stone directing, so it's going to delve all into the politics and the culpability and stuff like that.
And it's definitely going to have a point of view.
Oh, it has to. Well, yeah, it's Oliver Stone. If it didn't have a point of view, it'd be like, did he have a stroke? He has a point of view on everything. He has a point of view on what I had for breakfast
But
this
it'll
morning.
be a definite one way or the other, you know, and you will not be able to get away from it.
Where do you stand on the Snowden thing?
I don't know. It's such a... It's such an interesting topic because it's like you almost can see both sides of it.
Exactly. You signed an agreement and you broke it.
Right.
That's one thing. But the agreement was kind of meant to keep us doing the illegal or gray area.
Questionable, at least.
So part of me says, yes, he's a traitor. Just the fact that he didn't do super evil stuff with it doesn't mean he's less of a traitor. But on the other hand, I'm thinking that's a patriot. I mean, how many things should Americans know about that we don't know about?
Right.
Because there's not a Snowden out there to go, I'll sacrifice my liberty, my freedom, and my future to put this out there so it'll stop.
Yeah,
It's tough, and I have a distinct feeling that they're probably Stone's going to have the opinion that he is a patriot,
a whistleblower patriot.
Yeah, exactly. And Zachary Quinto plays Glenn Greenwald, who is the I think he's the reporter with, I want to say either the London Times or he's in New York. I think he's in London.
Okay.
And there's been talk about him getting arrested if he steps foot in the U.S., but he has been over here a few times and he's been okay because he's been on Bill Maher's show on HBO.
Oh, okay.
Real Time and a few other things. He's not like what's his name, Julian Assange, who's in the Ecuadorian embassy and he can never set foot outside because he'll be arrested immediately.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I and of course Joseph Gordon-Levitt is playing Snowden.
He's so good. I didn't even realize it was him at first. He doesn't sound like himself. He sounds like Snowden. He's one of those guys who goes into it. He's trying really hard.
He came out of sitcoms and
as a kid and
child actor in sitcom, and has really transcended. He hasn't had any like massive starring hit films, but he has had a good solid body of work.
Yeah.
Looper.
Yep.
Looper's darn good. And he survived working with Bruce Willis. Apparently,
not many do.
And he's a Trump supporter. I mean, Bruce Willis is.
Well, that's not a big surprise.
Yeah, just yikes. Anyway, and then of course the last one, Sully.
Okay,
how are they? I mean, I saw the. Did you see the
several times? Yeah.
If someone said we're doing a movie about the guy, like, okay, what's the other hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah, because it was 88 seconds, I think, from takeoff. Or no, it was like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like that.
From
let's be generous.
To,
it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What else? So obviously they're going back, and
I was a little taken aback or put off by that. Like
yeah,
they're delving into his relationship with his family and like divorce and drinking and shit. I was like, did any of that really?
No one ever.
I never heard of any.
But there was a film, I believe, with Denzel, Denzel Washington, where he saved a load of people, but they found out that he was drunk at the time.
Yes, but that was fiction. That wasn't
right. Exactly. And as far as I know, there was nothing about him being anything other than,
a hero.
A hero, and he would say, and I would agree with him. It's like, hey, listen, some shit went down. I made the best choice possible. And I stayed on the plane / ship until everyone was out.
Right.
He did everything right.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yes,
the
that's
controversy was that the tower or the computer simulations or some shit said that he could have made it to Teterboro Airport, which, if he had to dump it in the Hudson, Teterboro, I mean, is not that far from Manhattan, but it ain't that close.
Yeah.
And if he didn't think he could make it,
he might have sat down in a residential area,
yeah,
or in a business district, or whatever,
or wherever. He put it in the safest place he could find.
Yeah,
the freaking Hudson, and he landed it, and everybody got off, and everybody was safe.
Yeah, so I don't see what the controversy is, but
is it Spielberg?
No, it's Clint Eastwood.
That's right.
It's a Clint Eastwood film, and let me tell you. Clint Eastwood.
Take the politics out of it.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Take the politics out of it.
It's been diminishing returns on his films, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, independent of the politics, because, I mean, obviously there are horrible people that do great art. So, sometimes you just have to divorce
it's
the
hard,
two.
Yeah.
And, he's just, old, crusty, and a Republican, and that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad person. But I don't think I've been impressed with too much that he's done post maybe Gran Torino.
Yeah, that one baseball movie that was filmed here. A couple people, I heard it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I think Amy Adams was in it, and
Who's also in everything.
she not for a while. Well, I mean, she's been in she kind of fell off that being in everything.
Did she?
Yeah. She's caught up in the DC stuff now. Just Lois Lane, but
yeah, caught up into that. So anyway, it's okay. You know,
I mean,
I may see. I mean, Tom Hanks is a solid actor. He's
Yeah.
also had diminishing returns because I mean, there was a period, granted, 20 years ago,
Right.
where for like 5 or 6 years, every single film he does was a benchmark film,
Right.
That was hugely successful.
can't keep that pace.
Oh, of course not. No, nobody can. It's impossible. So,
But with a few exceptions, I mean, his movies are even over the last 10 years have been all pretty good.
the only one I haven't seen is the one where he plays a congressman.
Charlie Wilson's War.
Charlie Wilson's War. I've not
And
seen.
I heard that was actually really good.
Charlie
I heard
Wilson's-
that's another, not true life, but I mean, yeah.
Well, it's a semi-fictionalized thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
Completely fictionalized, and we'll get to this later. There's a third quote-unquote Da Vinci Code film.
Oh, yes. I saw. Oh.
We'll get to that. We'll
Yeah.
get to that. Now, once again, they're remaking things one more time, and
sure
we're going
are.
to get a remake of The Magnificent Seven.
Speaking of Kurosawa
Right,
remakes.
which is because basically there was a 54 film called Seven Samurai
Yeah.
that they adapted into the 1960 Western Magnificent Seven.
Yep.
And now they're redoing it again
Yeah.
with Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke, he's like Rene Russo to me in that, that person, competent, leaves no residue at all with me
Really?
in any performance whatsoever.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, it's not like, that was awful or that was great. It was just like, they were
he was in
there.
that, yeah.
And they didn't embarrass themselves.
Right.
And I have nothing good, bad, or indifferent to say. It's just like, all right.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, I've seen the trailer for this, I think, twice now, and actually on the big screen. I think I saw it twice.
Oh,
And
did you? Okay.
Yeah, the first time,
Oh, yeah, they played it in front of a Suicide
Squad, and I think the other one. I think when we saw Star Trek, I think it was there too.
Entirely possible.
And I had no idea it was being made, first of all.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Well, because there's no build-up. Like, we've been waiting for this for never.
yeah, no. But Denzel and Chris Pratt and some of the other people in it, I was like, okay, that looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks good. I mean, is it necessary? Absolutely not.
No.
We don't need it.
And,
but
I'll be the first to say, not every song, book, movie, television show has to raise you to the heavens and enlighten you and shine a light on the human condition. Some of it just needs to be dumb fun that you watch and go, that was a great 2 hours. It didn't change me at all. It didn't have to change. I laughed. I cried. And went, that was fun. And then I leave it behind. I never think about it again. I'm thinking maybe Magnificent Seven might be like that.
seeing Denzel Washington, an African-American actor, as the lead in a Western, that's pretty cool. Is it accurate? Not at all. But I'm down. I'm totally cool. And
Well, if Morgan Freeman is anything, there have been Africans back, not African Americans,
No,
Africans
African.
all throughout history. Like, the little known story of the guy that was helping Robin Hood,
Yeah.
or the guy that was coaching
the
Ben
Saracen
Hur.
who was,
I was like, okay, I'm all for diversity. If you can make it work, then knock yourself out.
Yep.
It's Morgan freaking Freeman. Put
Right.
him in anything. He'll be awesome.
and Chris Pratt, we've gone back and we've started watching The Office, and not The Office, Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec.
And
Hold on, you hadn't seen it before?
No, we hadn't. We
Oh,
never
wow.
watched it. While
He
it
was
on.
a big, chubby, fun, dumb guy.
He's insane. He's
Oh, yeah.
brilliant. On
His
show.
comic timing is perfect.
Genius. And then all of a sudden, now I see why everyone was like, when Guardians came out and he was like this shredded, superhero, it was like, hey, that's Andy from from Parks.
How far along in Parks and Rec are you?
Third season, I want to say. We're a good ways in.
All right, you're getting inclination about how awesome April and Andy's.
Yeah, they've been dancing around it.
They
for
are
a
the
while.
couple. Oh, he just gets better. It gets better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want. The woman I marry is gonna be that kind of dynamic, where it's like, that is horrible. I'm totally in.
Yeah.
And I love you for it.
Yes.
They're like, awesome. So, now, another entry into the fantastical children's blah, 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 Golden Compass bomb at the box office, most likely, is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
I will disagree on one count.
What's that?
Normally, I'm not a fan of Tim Burton, but this is his wheelhouse right here.
It is.
This is absolutely his wheelhouse, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Ava Green has become his new Helena Bonham Carter. He is, and who was his old Tina Marie? I want to say, what was his first one? The girl who was in Ed Wood, who was Vampira. That was his.
Oh boy, I haven't seen Ed Wood in so long.
She was Vampira.
Okay. Right.
She was his muse.
He has
at the time.
muse. Well, I'll tell you, he has traded as up as you can possibly get, because Eva Green is just phenomenal.
Right, on every level.
I mean,
she's
have
a beautiful
you seen
woman
Penny Dreadful?
I have not, but she's a fantastic actress. I know.
She's good.
So I don't think it's
so easy on the eyes.
a little bit, yeah. And I don't think this is going to be a bomb, because this is like Tim Burton doing Planet of the Apes is a horrible idea, and it came out horribly, and whoever thought, but giving him this is, I mean, he had to have adapted it. You know, I think
maybe
it was a weird little book.
This will be him getting back to his Edward Scissorhands,
absolutely,
Beetlejuice, in a way, vibe. And if that's the case, then we'll see. I just have a feeling it's going to die like the Golden Compass and all these other attempts to adapt. And if you want to adapt children's books, God damn it, adapt the Madeleine L'Engle series.
They are.
Give us A Wrinkle in Time.
I believe they are.
Then good, and do it properly.
Right.
Don't skip bits, and do it right. That ABC movie. My gosh, I was actually emailing back with an ABC executive because they announced it, and I got someone's. I said, "When is this coming out?" And feel free to email me back, and and I stayed on it for like 2 years until they just vomited it out with no fanfare someday, and I watched it and went, I want to kick this. I want to Elvis this TV. I don't own a gun, but good grief, I want to shoot that television. It was just horrible.
Yes, no, I've heard that
it needs to be dark and fucked up, and
right.
It needs to be serious, because these are
right.
they're geared towards children, but they're not taking on little fluffy topics.
Right.
This is serious.
Well, I actually read The Golden Compass. I read all those books before I ever heard that there was
it's
a movie.
His Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials,
right.
Yes. I read them all, and the books were really good. But I was reading them going, they'll never make a movie out of this.
And by some standards, they never did.
They never did. Well, because it gets real, religious and real, like God is this
a malign thug.
No, like a withering, useless, doddering old fool, and it's being taken over by these. It gets real heavy into that stuff, and I was like, they're going to cut all that out and just have the armored polar bears, which are awesome, and the cool knife that cuts through dimensions and all that. That was great. That was going to be good, but that's one of those things. Is I don't think they'll ever be able to.
That's the kind of knife that you can pull the cheesecake right out of the freezer and be like, nope, we can cut it right now.
Right through the fridge. Yeah.
Through the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes through the fridge, through the freezer, through the floor, through the school behind it.
Yeah, exactly. But but back to this. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
The trailer was very interesting. I loved the sinking down into the ship, and I like that. I mean, I just get gut feelings about these things.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I have a feeling it's going to be just a massive fail.
Okay, we'll see.
Not necessarily artistically. I'm making no predictions artistically. I'm talking box office.
See, I'm going the other way. I think it's going to do well financially, but it ain't going to be very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see. So September 30th.
So what? Now we fight?
Yes. All right.
I don't know.
Finish
peanut butter chocolate. Peanut butter chocolate. So and anything with Ava Green in it, I'm done. I'm happy. Yeah. So she's decent. Another retread they're coming up with that just makes me ill to my everything. they're going back to Blair Witch.
I could not believe when I heard that.
Now, you've seen the first one, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay, whatever. It was
clever for what it was.
A little creepy, a little eerie.
The very last moment is brilliant. I mean, it was scary as shit. That 1 second was great.
Well, where they're like facing the wall.
And the way the camera... I mean, that was great. And the whole... I mean, the whole found footage thing as being the very first one.
Where then it sparked.
Because, I mean, do you remember how the whole... People really didn't know if it was real or not.
Right. People, it had one of the most brilliant marketing campaigns in history. Because they just went. And I would say that it's probably not in the top 10, but as far as grossing, but as far as profitability.
Oh, yeah, it made
they shot
5,000%.
Yeah, they shot it for like, $350,000, and it made like over $100 million.
Yeah, something like
that.
The
return, I mean, if you were an investor on that film, holy crap.
Yeah.
You're rolling in it.
Exactly.
So, and then of course they did, and of course all the people in the original Blair, they're going to become big stars now. Nope.
No.
Amanda Donahue, I think. I think she went on to do a few things, but then her star never really took off. And okay. Then they did Blair Witch 2. Book of Shadows,
yeah.
And they completely went the other way. They
just made a movie.
They just did a standard horror film.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, whatever.
Yep.
It had the traditional scary thing, teenage girls' boobies, but I'm like, you know what? I've seen this a billion times before, and I don't care.
And it wasn't even good.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't even good.
So, and as far as I know,
what the hell is this that they're coming out with?
This is a direct sequel to the original Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
So they're just calling it Blair Witch. This one has the brother of Amanda Donahue's character going to look for her. So it could be this film could take place 10 days after the end of the first Blair Witch Project, for all we know.
Right.
Because, sister, hey, I'm going out to do this, and then she's missing. So obviously, I'll wait 7 or 8 years before I go look for her. No, he's going to go out and look for her relatively soon. And things happen. So it could be good in its own way. I'm not seeing it in the theaters.
I may not see it at all. But
I'm saying, of all the ones we talked about so far, probably none of these I'd see in the theater. Maybe Fantastic Beasts.
I most likely will see that.
And maybe Miss Peregrine's, just because, it's a fantastically looking big thing. It could be okay.
Yeah.
This Blair Witch thing,
What is the style? Is it found footage or
don't know?
Is there no trailer?
I've not seen a trailer.
Okay.
I have not seen a trailer.
either.
Now, I'm sure it's out there because September 16th is the release date. And the trailer's already out there.
Yep.
My guess is that it may be somewhat found footage, perhaps. Maybe not quite as jerky, like they rigged up a steady cam. Because that was a lot of people's complaint. They were feeling queasy throughout the whole film anyway. Because it was, everything was bouncing.
It was like Cloverfield. That's why Cloverfield was only 80 minutes, because it was like so hard to watch.
People were just like, I can't take it. Hey, we didn't run out of time, but I really need to watch Stranger Things. Everyone's talking about it, and I need to get on that. So we're going to play part 2 next week.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, DeepThought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the Office of Howard and Fine. Maybe I'll go see Rogue One, I'm not so sure. Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Shag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Check us out on dadsgarageradio.net. Listen, watch on YouTube. Listen on SoundCloud. Stream us on Stitcher. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
Allons-y.
Audio Primate.